Hey everyone, today on People Now, Meghan Markle steps back into public life amid continued fallout from her and Harry's split from the royal family. We have the latest details.
So he just said, I don't have to do that anymore. I'll just do what I do.
Lots of love for Tyler Perry from his Fall from Grace cast as they respond to backlash that he's received from a recent tweet. We'll explain.
Vanessa Hudgens spotted out living her best life after splitting from longtime boyfriend Austin Butler.
Cash Cab host and comedian Ben Bailey is hitting the road. He is here live with all the deets.
Gwyneth Paltrow's new candle smells like her what? We're discussing it and other attention-grabbing scents.
It's all very weird and it's all live today on People Now.
Hey everybody, it's Wednesday, halfway to the weekend.
Woo!
Welcome to People Now.
Excited.
We're excited to be here. There's a lot of stuff to talk about today. Some really bizarre.
Some really weird stuff I'd rather not talk about, but we're gonna do it.
We're gonna do it. And then some other things that everyone is talking about. We're gonna begin with Meghan Markle stepping back into public life as she visited the Vancouver Women's Center on Tuesday. Continuing her philanthropic efforts, she discussed issues affecting women in the community during her visit to the community center, which provides support and basic necessities to over 500 women and children every day. Afterward, the center shared a photo on their Facebook page explaining Meghan and the women also enjoyed tea together. Sounds really nice. In the photo, Meghan can be seen happily posing in the middle of a beaming group of women. Just hours before her visit, Meghan made her first appearance following her and Prince Harry's announcement to step back as senior royals. In photos obtained by Daily Mail, Meghan was pictured boarding a seaplane bound for Vancouver, which is nice. I have never flown in a seaplane.
I have on Survivor.
Let's talk about it. Meanwhile, in this week's People Cover story, we are learning more details about why Harry and Meghan walked away and the aftermath of their decision to step down as senior royals. Many close to Prince Harry are concerned about the growing distance between him and the rest of the royal family, especially given that he's recently pulled away from many longtime friends as well. Well-connected source is telling People that Harry cut off many of his close pals about 6 months into Meghan's pregnancy with their son Archie, who was born on May 6, 2019. That insider adding that most of them no longer even have his cell phone number, and according to the source, his friends totally understand that men often drift from their friends after marriage, but there's still a lot of resentment because they had been so close for so long. That was the statement from the source. Stay tuned, we'll have even more revelations about Harry and Meghan's big move later on in the show. Now, there was plenty of tension between the candidates during Tuesday night's Democratic debate in Iowa, specifically between Senators Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders. But it's this moment after the debate that has a lot of people talking today. Warren shook hands with fellow candidates Tom Steyer and former Vice President Joe Biden, but the internet suspects that Warren bypassed Sanders' handshake and instead engaged in a quick conversation that was caught on camera. Let's see the moment and decide for ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, that seemed like a snub. She was shaking hands before, and then she took it away.
They clearly didn't.
And also the tension that's going on with
Tension
them.
between them. Steyer actually chatted with Anderson Cooper post-debate about that moment, telling him in part, quote, "I felt like, okay, there's something going on here. It was one of those awkward moments where I felt like, I need to move on as fast as possible." Earlier this week, CNN reported that Sanders privately told Warren in a 2018 conversation that a woman couldn't win the 2020 election. Warren later confirmed the report while Sanders denied that he ever said it, aggressively debunking that claim during the debate, saying it's incomprehensible that he would think a woman cannot be president of the United States. Tuesday night's Democratic debate in Des Moines was the final debate before the Iowa caucus on Monday, February 3rd. Historically, whoever wins the Iowa caucus usually clinches the nomination for their party, so keep paying attention and register to vote if you haven't already. Now we move on to this. Tyler Perry's first Netflix film, A Fall from Grace, comes out this Friday. When we sat down with stars Brisha Webb, Crystal Fox, and Felicia Rashad, we also spoke to them about the recent attention and even some backlash that Tyler Perry received when he showed everyone on social media that he has no writer's room for any of his shows and that he is the sole writer for all of his projects. Take a look at our conversation.
It's so shocking because he has so many projects going on. He's such a busy man. How does he do it without a writer's room?
He does it very well without a writer's room because he says when he had a writer's room, it was counterproductive for him. The script would come, and the way he puts it, he would pay people to write a script. He didn't like the script. You have to pay him to rewrite it. And then when he fixed it himself, they'd go and complain to the union, and then he had to pay something else. So he just said, I don't have to do that anymore. I'll just do what I do. Yes. Because he knows his audience.
And they know his voice.
Yes, and they know his voice. Mm-hmm. He knows what they are expecting, and he gives it to them.
On set, especially when he has a couple projects going on, were there ever rewrites, or how does that process even work?
Well, oh, God. A couple of things. He trusts us to do our work sometimes. So if you're in the middle of it, as long as he believes you, he lets you keep going. But he'll see something that we do and it sparks something. He'll yell out an additional line, and you can do that if you wrote the script. They say it, and we say it, and we add that to it. So it's kind of like, I guess that's the best rewrite.
Yeah. It is, because it's in the moment, and he's editing as he's directing, and as he's acting in the scene with us. Yeah.
That's so interesting. So you'll be doing a scene, and then you'll hear him off, and he'll say another line, and then you just go with that.
Yes.
Oh.
It's part of that whole collaboration, right? And making it all work. Have you been surprised that there have been criticisms of him because of that statement that he
Thank you, because I want to say this.
Yeah.
I talked to him about that a little bit too, because I saw where someone posted, they were just concerned that they had no hope in being able to work there. And he brought it back up when I mentioned that, I brought that to his attention. He was like, oh, okay, because he's going to continue to write his things under his name for his audience. But it's 12 sound stages there, and they're developing other projects that they will have writers come in and write. So there is a place for people to hope and dream to develop things there as writers.
It was really interesting getting their perspective, kind of some clarification regarding some of the backlash and how he actually operates.
They were
right?
happy to talk about it.
Oh yeah, for sure, and lots of support for him, lots of love. We're gonna have more of our interview with the A Fall from Grace cast on Friday, the same day the film starts streaming on Netflix. Now, Andrea, you've got more for us in Star Treks.
Yes, I do. We are kicking off Star Treks today with an update on a very shocking breakup. A lot of people did not see this coming. Vanessa Hudgens is looking confident after news of her split from Austin Butler on Tuesday. The actress walked the red carpet solo at the premiere of Bad Boys for Life, wowing in a dramatic one-shouldered white gown and opting not to stop for interviews before the screening. But it's kind of all everyone's talking about right now. I don't really blame her on that. Earlier on Tuesday, a source confirmed to People that Vanessa and Austin had split after more than 8 years of dating. They had been together since 2011. That is a long time. This is obviously very heartbreaking. The reps could not be reached for comment. Fans first speculated about a breakup when neither of them posted photos celebrating Christmas and New Year's Eve together. They had been long distance as they filmed projects in different countries, with Vanessa recently in the UK for Netflix's The Princess Switched Again. That was in November. Meanwhile, Austin is set to play Elvis Presley in an untitled biopic that's currently in pre-production. This was trending on Twitter. A lot of fans are heartbroken about this. I don't know. I think it's always sad when a Hollywood couple splits up.
Especially after they've been together for so long. She's been in here before, and she's talked really glowingly about him, their relationship, and the whole thing. So
yeah, I mean, she always tells me, okay, that's too many personal questions when I start asking, probably for this reason.
Yeah.
Now those interviews live on. I'm really sad for them, and I hope that they're able to kind of move on amicably.
Yeah.
She went to the Lakers game earlier this week. She was all smiles on the carpet. Seems like she's maybe doing all right. Obviously, you can't really tell with all those, though.
Yeah, we wish them both the best.
Yes. All right, now listen to this.
Waiting somewhere for me.
Ariana Grande is showing off her love for show tunes. On Tuesday, the singer and musical theater fan gave her 171 million Instagram followers an acoustic performance, singing a verse from the song The Sweetest Sounds on her Instagram stories. Now, the song must be a favorite of hers because this is actually not the first time she sang it for social media. Ariana's impromptu Instagram concert comes on the heels of her big announcement that she will perform at the 62nd Annual Grammy Awards later this month. Last year, when Ariana won her first ever Grammy, she was famously absent from the ceremony after a reported disagreement with producers. According to Variety, Ariana wanted to perform Seven Rings during last year's show, but producers allegedly refused. Eventually, both parties reached a compromise that included Seven Rings and any second song she wanted to sing, but Variety reported that the singer still rejected that offer. Now, days before last year's show, Ariana clapped back at producers via Twitter, writing, "I offered 3 different songs. It's about collaboration. It's about feeling supported. It's about art and honesty, not politics, not doing favors or playing games. It's just a game, y'all, and I'm sorry, but that's not what music is to me." But all that seems to be in the past right now. She confirmed her performance on Twitter on Saturday, tweeting, "See you January 26th. Very exciting. All right, Jenna Dewan is getting ready for baby number 2. The actress made a New Year's resolution to get a little more organized in 2020, but she has a more important goal for the short term. As she puts it, quote, birthing this new child. It's a very important goal. Jenna and her boyfriend, actor Steve Kazee, announced in September that they're expecting their first child together. Jenna also shares one daughter, Everly, with her ex-husband, Channing Tatum. So what are some of the mom-to-be's current food cravings? Jenna says it's a lot of salt, chips, and bad food, but she also says she feels more at ease during this pregnancy compared to her first, saying, quote, "You know what to expect already, so there's not as much anxiety or unknown happening." Jenna says she's at peace with the whole process. That's great to hear. And Steve has been immensely supportive, with Jenna saying this: he's the most nurturing man. He communicates well with me, and he's always down for a foot rub and grabbing me bean burritos. After the baby arrives, Jenna says she wants things to be balanced and to flow as much as possible, including her many professional projects. You've got her current Netflix series soundtrack, plus an upcoming TV series on HBO Max that she's set to produce. But for now, Jenna and her growing family are focused on preparing for their new arrival. She says this: we're reading a lot about adding a sibling and how we can help Everly with that transition and making it exciting. We're like a little unit. It's been so far so good. And those are your Star Tracks for today.
All right, stay with us. Cash Cab's Ben Bailey will be live on our couch. We can't wait to chat with him about his stand-up tour and much more going on. Plus, what does Meghan Markle's mom, Doria, have to say about her and Prince Harry's royal exit? We're going to tell you. Stick around. All right, everyone, so much to talk about in the world of celeb relationships this week. So it is the perfect time to debut a brand new segment right here at People Now.
Yes, if you've ever picked up a People magazine, it might sound familiar. It's time for Heart Monitor.
Oh, yeah. Here we go.
And we are kicking things off with some new love. Liam Hemsworth is leaving heartbreak behind in 2019. Nearly 5 months after filing for divorce from Miley Cyrus, a source tells us in this week's issue that Liam and his new flame, Gabriella Brooks, are already getting serious. The two were spotted soaking up the sun in Byron Bay, Australia earlier this month, showing plenty of PDA as they shared kisses while laying out on the sand. In December, Liam even introduced Gabriella to his parents. That's a big deal. The two young lovebirds enjoy many of the same hobbies: exercising, surfing, and relaxing at the beach. And his friends get along with her too. The source adding that Liam has been in a great mood, and we can see why. Now, Liam filed for divorce from Miley back in August after they tied the knot just 7 months earlier on December 23rd, 2018. The divorce reportedly won't be finalized until March. Now, Miley has since moved on as well with Australian singer Cody Simpson. The new couple recently celebrated their first Christmas together with her family and had a sweet date night together one day later.
All right, let's move on to this. Charlie Hunnam, he is admitting that he doesn't have particular feelings about marriage. The actor opened up during a sit-down on Andy Cohen's SiriusXM radio show Tuesday with his The Gentleman co-stars Matthew McConaughey and Hugh Grant by his side. So Charlie first explained, quote, "I've been with my girlfriend for 14 and a half years, I think, or 13 and a half years. He might want to get that right. Then he called his viewpoint on marriage sort of indifferent. But does his longtime girlfriend, Morgana McNellis, agree? Well, Charlie says, quote, "She does not feel the same. She's very eager. I'll do it because it's important to her, but I don't have any great romantic feelings towards it." That was his quote. Hugh Grant replied to that sentiment by saying, quote, "I wouldn't go with that line when you pop your question, and I would agree it's a bad move if he does." Charlie and Morgana lead a pretty low-key lifestyle away from Hollywood. He said back in 2013 that they lived on a ranch and they were trying to live more sustainably. They also keep the majority of their relationship off of social media. In 2017, Charlie told People that he made romance a priority in their relationship, saying, quote, "I try to keep the romance on the reg. As anyone knows who's been in a long-term, fully monogamous relationship, it requires work, a lot of work." All right, and that is your Heart Monitor update for today.
All right, award season is now in high gear with the SAG Awards taking place in LA this weekend. We can't wait to see the stars dazzle on the red carpet. They always bring it for this show.
They do. It's so much fun to see what they wear, what kind of trends we're going to start seeing on the red carpet. Now, the jewelry in particular is always amazing. So we enlisted People's style and beauty director Andrea Laventhal to help us take a deep dive into jewelry trends from the past and what we can look forward to seeing this year at the SAGs.
This segment is brought to you by Real is Rare, Real is a Diamond. Take a look.
We're excited to break this down. What jewelry trends should we be looking out for in 2020?
So why wear one necklace, you guys, when you can wear 2 or even 3 diamond necklaces? We've already seen on the red carpet in 2020 stars layering. Look at this. We have J-Lo and Gwyneth and Salma, and it's like, oh, you're going to let me wear 100-carat necklace? I would like 2.
Yeah. What we loved, and we even talked about this with Gwyneth, was that massive necklace or necklaces and then covered in her sort of sheer dress, right?
Only Gwyneth. It's like the hidden diamonds.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. So I think it's a beautiful trend, you know? It's the more the merrier trend.
All right, we saw it last year at the SAG Awards. Chadwick Boseman wore some diamond brooches. So what are we going to see with the men this year?
I think we're going to see the men have even more fun with accessories. We're going to see a lot of brooches. I mean, this is a place for men to really express themselves. We saw Billy Porter do a gorgeous Tiffany necklace at the Golden Globes, and he had a brooch. So he did double diamonds, which love it. Elton John certainly is somebody who, knows his way around a diamond or two. Earrings, and he's done brooches. So I think men are going to continue to have fun and see what they can do with jewelry to kind of liven up their look.
And here are some more brooches.
Oh, yeah. So Nick Jonas, very fashion forward. He did a beautiful brooch recently. And Jason Momoa. I mean, all of these men have different style, but they all have a love of jewelry.
They might have been upping their game.
Yeah.
I love it.
And it's what it should be. Men should be having just as much fun on the red carpet as women. They should get in the vault, get those jewels, and wear them.
Yeah, figure out a way. All right, what about rocks? Last year, all about the emerald. What are we looking forward to this year?
Emeralds will always be a red carpet trend. They're just that beautiful green color, and often they're like massive, but now it's all about the sapphire, you guys. These deep, beautiful blue sapphire baubles. We've been seeing so many of them on the carpet, and really the color is so striking, and it looks really interesting against something like yellow you see on Zoe Deutsch, who did that incredible sapphire pendant, and Cynthia Erivo, Charlize, that beautiful hint of blue, right? It's so vibrant. So it's the new stone in town.
I love it.
Okay, what about some trends that have always been around and will never die?
Well, I think when it comes to red carpet jewelry, the bigger the bling, the better, especially with statement necklaces. Those massive diamond statement necklaces you see on the biggest red carpets, whether it's, the Oscars, the SAGs, all the award shows, everybody wants huge bling. And look at it. It like frames her face.
Yeah, and I feel like at the award shows too, you can wear the big necklace and the big earrings, and it's never too much.
Absolutely. There's no such thing as too much with diamonds, right? Like the bigger, the better, the more, the merrier, right? I think that's the slogan.
What are some of the trends, that we've seen in the past that maybe feel a little played out that we'll probably see less of as we move forward this year?
So in past years, we saw celebrities getting very experimental with ear climbers, which was like a very interesting earring, and it climbed up the ear.
There we go. We see some of them.
Yeah, they're beautiful, but I think now it's all about the mismatched earring. Feels much more modern, so you do maybe a stud on one side and a dangle on the other, or different colors, ways. So I don't think we're going to see as many ear climbers.
Here's a
I've
question.
done the mismatched earrings just because I lose my earrings.
Yeah, right, okay.
It works for people that misplace things.
Yeah, just say you're on trends for 2020.
Is there a rule if the hair's up off to one side, which side has the dangle?
Well, you don't want to compete. So if you have a lot of hair down, you don't want to cover that beautiful dangle.
So put it
right?
the dangle on the side without the hair.
I would do the more subtle earring. Yeah.
Good question, Jeremy.
Heard it here. Thank you. I would like to know before we get into some of the other award shows.
I also don't think we're going to see as many tiaras. I think that celebrities crowning themselves look, who doesn't want to wear diamonds on their head and be a royal for a night? But I think we'll leave those with the royals in 2020. Let them have their tiaras.
Yeah,
What about the little diamond bands, though?
Oh, I think that's stunning. When people wear hair jewelry, I think that's going to be a big trend for 2020. But the big royal style tiara, I don't think so.
Okay, leave it to the royals and my little girls in their princess outfits.
Yes. Yes.
Thank
Good to
you
see you.
so much for coming.
Yes, my
and
pleasure.
Everyone, join us again on January 20th when we take a look at all the big jewelry and fashion moments from this year's SAG Awards. You don't want to miss it.
So I know I seem like a nice fella on the Cash Cab program, but that's editing. Really? No, I am a nice guy. I try to be a nice guy on the show, I think what I'm trying to say is that road rage is real. All right? Anyone who's driven 100 feet in a major city knows that road rage is a reality, right? There's a line. On one side of the line, you're like, that man is driving aggressively, and I wish he would stop it. On the other side of that line, that turns into, I will kill your whole family.
The National Ben Bailey Live Tour kicks off in Cleveland January 25th, bringing Ben to cities across the country throughout the year.
Yes, so excited for that. And his 6-time Daytime Emmy Award-winning game show Cash Cab is currently airing on Bravo. And on top of all of that, Ben Bailey is joining us live today.
Work this in. Hey
guys, how's it going?
Good.
Great.
Great to see you. You're a busy man.
Thank you. Yeah, I've got a lot of things going on at the moment.
Yeah.
I'm pretty excited about this tour.
Well, let's talk about that.
Even though it kicks off in Cleveland. No offense, Cleveland. Everyone's like, why are you going to Cleveland in January? Don't you have a choice? this and these things.
No, right, it's not the best weather right now. But yeah, what's your favorite part about touring? And kind of hitting the road, connecting with the audience?
It is. It's the like immediate feedback of doing stand-up and just getting that energy back from the crowd. There's really nothing quite like it. It's a rush, and you know, I've been doing it long enough now. I kind of need it.
Yeah.
And I haven't been out on the road in a while, and you know, I'm just really psyched to get back out there.
Sure.
Yeah, when you think of all the tours you've done and all the time touring, is there a fun memory that really sticks out?
There are so many great memories from being out on the road. Like, you know, it's often funny when there's like a celebrity in the audience. At one point I was on stage and I looked down and Kurt Vonnegut is sitting there like right in front row, right? And at the time I was like really into reading. I had just read a whole bunch of his stuff and I was like, made me nervous and everything. I was really worried. And so after I was done, I came over and I went over to him and I went to shake his hand and say hello. He was passed out drunk.
Oh.
He didn't hear anything I said. He literally sat down.
There, but not there.
That's like an example of don't meet your idols, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he still
I'm sure
hasn't
he got
seen
some
you
of it.
perform.
Yes, he
He's
never
yet to
did.
see you perform. That's really funny. So you told our producer that right before you go on, you like to hit the gym. What's that all about? I mean, obviously you want to fill out the shirt, look good on stage, but is there more to it?
Yeah, it's more about how I feel. I mean, I'm a little bit obsessive about working out, but it's largely because of how I feel afterward. No matter how I feel when I go into the gym, when I come out, I feel the same. I feel good. I feel energetic, lively, happy, you know. And if I can be in the same spot mentally and emotionally and whatever right before every show, that's great. So that's what I try
Like
to
the
do.
baseline, right?
Yeah, like it's good. Start in a good spot.
Yeah.
Feeling good and, you know, hopefully looking good.
Yeah. You do observational comedy, so
Yeah.
not so much politics or anything too dirty, but we're in an age where like things go viral. Are you ever worried about that with PC culture?
I write about such weird stuff that, you know, I mean, you have a hard time spinning one of my weird, like I have a big chunk about like why people build birdhouses. So if someone could spin that into something politically incorrect,
Like,
birds
Well,
are
this
gonna
would be the year that
offended.
would happen.
yeah.
It seems like it, right?
Completely lost the birdhouse demo. Gone. So good luck, pal.
Yeah, so
Can't get it
you
without
know,
them.
that's not really on my mind much because there's just nothing political. And,
Yeah.
you know.
I'm always interested when I go to shows, like how comedians deal with hecklers. What's your approach to that?
That is the one time in this atmosphere right now that you kind of go like, all right, I can't go too hard. You know, like if somebody continuously interrupts you, first of all, security should be all over them, right?
Right.
But you're expected to handle one or two, and it's like, all right, you can't go too hard. You can't lay into them too much now because somebody's probably got a phone.
Right, yeah.
And they'll
right.
just like take one little snippet and then it'll be a news item or
out
whatever.
of context and
so
it becomes a thing. But it is sort of like a comedian's rite of passage, right? To figure out how to deal with that, just to keep the room moving and keep your set going. That's something I would absolutely hate.
I would not want that either.
Just like boom, melt, and I'm just leaving the stage. But let's talk about Cash Cab for a bit.
Sure, yeah.
Obviously, great show. Congrats, keeps going.
Thank
People
you,
love
yeah.
it.
The Cash
Has there ever
Cab
been
rolls on.
a situation where you've had trouble kicking people out of the cab? Maybe like someone I think recently you were saying was stubborn, wouldn't leave.
Yeah, we've had a couple of those. There was one guy who was like, it turned out he was pretty drunk. We didn't realize how drunk he was when the game started, and then he lost. He was by himself, and he lost, and he refused to get out.
Oh.
I was like, you have to get out. You lost. And he's like, I'm not leaving. And he like moved from the answer seat into the way back, and he put all the seatbelts on.
Oh, like the third row in the van.
all
right.
the way in the way back.
Yeah.
He buckled in the middle, and then he put the two side ones. So he's like all strapped in there. He's like, I'm not leaving, man. I'm not leaving. And I was like, okay. And so I just parked and I left. And I just left him sitting in there.
Well, because at that point you've got like a production
Yeah.
crew, right? They're like, they can handle it. Like,
Pretty wild.
Well, he was like, he didn't think of that. He was like, oh, I didn't know you could leave. What am I doing? I'm just sitting here strapped in.
yeah.
That's really, really funny. You've been doing the show for a while. What is your favorite thing about hosting the show?
I think my favorite thing about hosting Cash Cab is like turning kind of jaded New Yorkers who are too cool for it when they get in, flipping them to where at the end they're so caught up in the game, you know. A lot of New Yorkers, you know, a couple $100 doesn't mean a lot to them. So if I can like bring them into the game to where they're like super excited when they were too cool for school at the beginning. I think that's my favorite part of it.
That is, and as viewers, I think that's one of the best parts of watching. You can see people kind of give into it and then embrace it, and then we're all rooting, right?
Yeah,
A
yeah.
simple idea that turns out to just be genius. Anyway, all right, before you go, time for a little segment that we're calling Cash Cab Gab. Just for you. It's all about what kind of conversations you have or would have with your passengers while driving them around, which we always find, we were talking about this, you have the most interesting conversations when you're in a cab
it's always
or
a
an
therapy
Uber,
session,
right.
you know?
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
All right, let's say someone gets in and tells you they were just broken up with, they're heartbroken. What's your advice?
Go have a drink. There's other fish in the sea.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big
Especially
city.
if you're in New York.
There's a lot
city.
of people alone in the big city right now.
All right.
Go find a new one.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever heard a passenger kind of tell you, a story they've told you, something they brought you into while driving them around?
While they were my
they're-
passenger?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For a minute, I thought you guys were asking me about when
What
I
you
get
have-
in a cab.
Oh, got it.
Which is usually, they're usually like turning around.
Well, maybe there's something there, or whatever.
Look, watch the road, man.
Yeah.
The weirdest, geez. I don't know. It's kind of funny. Being a cab driver, so to speak, is kind of like being a bartender, or people
Right.
just open up and tell you like really weird stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know how many of those I could repeat on.
Yeah. People get personal immediately, right?
They get right. Yeah, they just get in. People do that to me more when I meet them in person, not in the cab.
Interesting.
They'll come up and go, "Oh, my mom is terribly ill, and she loves the show," and some weird story about how my uncle came and he brought a picture of you, and
Yeah, right.
that kind of weird stuff.
Yeah, okay.
That doesn't happen that much in the cab, though. We kind of like get right to the game.
Yeah, you're right.
People
Yeah.
are so excited to be a part of it. What's the best reaction you've ever gotten when they find out they're in the cash cab?
Well, the last couple of seasons, people have just been going absolutely nuts when we let them know. One guy, he was this huge guy, he was probably weighed 300 pounds, and he just started jumping up and throwing himself like over the back of the seat. He did it like 10 times, just going, oh, oh. And then he leaned to kiss his girlfriend, and she headbutted him in the nose, and his nose started bleeding. And he was like, I'm okay.
It's like blood
Let's
profusely.
just play. We're like, no, I think we're going to pull over and take care of your nose first.
It's not great for the show. The blood everywhere. Have you ever given out career advice to someone? Maybe, like, I don't know if people come to you for that or.
Yeah. Often, once in a while, I'll get somebody who wants to be a comedian will be in the cab, or I'll run to a comic on the road and they'll ask me for career advice. Yeah, like, good, stay in school. Yeah,
Right.
Career advice would be persistence, I think. I'm a firm believer that dreams do come true, but not if you sit around and wait for them to come true. You got to go out and work and keep pushing at it, and persist.
Yeah.
Don't give up.
Great advice.
You're a testament to that.
Thank you so much for stopping by.
Oh, you bet.
We always
Thanks
love
for
when you're
having me.
here.
Good to talk to
And
you.
Cash Cab is currently airing on Bravo. Check it out. And Ben is kicking off his national Ben Bailey live tour in Cleveland on January 25th. Show and ticket info is available at www.therealbenbailey.com.
All right, I think we're all kind of familiar with that New Year's struggle, kind of sticking to those resolutions, but don't worry, fitness expert Jillian Michaels is here to help with some of her best tips to maintaining your goals in the new year.
Don't get crazy in the beginning. Like
It burns quick, right? People like dive in too
Oh
deep.
my gosh, man! They're like, I'm giving up alcohol. I'm giving up
Yeah.
sugar. I'm going vegan. I'm cleansing and eating nothing but juice. I'm putting a fire hose in my mouth, turning it on full blast. I mean, I have.
Right.
I'm like, holy crap! Like, just chill.
Yeah.
Because none of that's sustainable and none of it's beneficial. The reality is, weight loss is a very simple thing. I'm not saying it's easy, but even maintenance, right? You eat less, you move more, you use common sense with your food choices. So it's not sexy, it's not fun, and it isn't easy, but it is straightforward. And so, I mean, that's what my app is. It's an app that is designed to customize your food and your fitness to better help you ensure success.
Now we have no excuses now. Now, if you follow Jillian on Instagram, then you know she occasionally posts photos with her girlfriend, Deshanna Marie Menudo. But did you catch this photo that Deshanna posted in August after working out with Jillian for the first time, saying that she was not okay? Jillian filled us in on if they're able to work out together now.
We can now.
Okay.
What's interesting about, her name is Deshanna.
Yeah.
What's interesting about Dee is that she was like I don't even know if I'm getting this right, a D1 athlete, like one of the, some college, like crazy great
D1 athlete, kind of a big deal, right? Yeah.
I don't even know.
Yeah.
Because I was not, I was a fat kid, so I have no idea. Yeah, like she was like so she, and is very fit, very lean, and was like, okay, I'm gonna start working out, and so I gave her I was like, all right, babe. I gave her a little routine, and I was like, I can't walk. I've been zombified. I feel like I hate you. Ah. And then over like a couple of weeks, I was like, baby, it's gonna take a minute. You know, you haven't, and then.
What's that initial like breaking in, right? Your body rejects you and hates you, and then you it catches up. Right.
And then she's like, I just ran my mile in 7 minutes and 15 seconds. I was like, shut up.
So now she's like in, like actually challenging you.
Yes. She's like, look, baby, are you on a 6'5"? I'm like, mind your business.
Wait, so head to head now, is she like,
Oh, she's.
Can she take you on? Like, I mean, is she?
With the cardio stuff all day long.
Yeah.
The strength stuff, no. She's like. No, she's like a little whippersnap.
Each got their little thing there. And the two of them seem to travel together quite a bit, but Jillian told us that it wasn't always as perfect as Instagram makes it seem.
I had a holiday vacation that literally made a Chevy Chase vacation movie look like a Roman holiday. So, I mean, I think my girlfriend appreciates things more than me. She's like, look at the snow. I'm like, we all have the norovirus.
That's actually, it's like you're seeing it through the very like cynical reality. She's rose-colored.
She's like, isn't this beautiful, baby? I'm like, we all caught the norovirus. My son's eardrum ruptured on the plane over. We spent 8.5 hours in an
Wait, where was this? Where were you?
Finland.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. It's literally perpetual darkness. Like a day goes into night. You don't know. I was in pure hell. And I'm not trying to sound ungrateful. I'm just being honest. It was
from hell.
Look. All right, in this week's People Cover story, we are taking a closer look at why Harry and Meghan walked away from being senior royals and the real story behind the family crisis, with a source telling us that there is a lot of hurt.
Yes, and we are also learning that the decision to leave the royal family was made some time ago, with the palace insider telling us that they knew they were going to hit the nuclear button on their exit when Archie was born. That's how they put it. The source reveals with Archie's birth, Harry and Meghan's focus shifted to doing what's right for their family. A household source also tells People that Meghan and Harry didn't feel that they got enough comfort or solace from the royal family when they were having a hard time facing the media.
But apparently Harry felt constrained by the rigid life of a royal long before he married Meghan. An insider reveals that Harry the royal and Harry the person are completely different.
Yeah, meanwhile, Meghan's mom, Doria Ragland, spent Thanksgiving with Harry and Meghan in Vancouver. A source tells us that she isn't worried about them. She thinks her daughter will always be okay. The source also tells us that the happy grandma says that her grandson is the cutest.
He really is. Now, ultimately, friends say that the couple's decision is for their son's benefit, with one friend explaining, quote, I don't see this as running away from the UK, but as a desire to have a life in both places.
She studied political activism at Antioch University and music at a conservatory in Boston. It was there that she met a theology student by the name of Martin Luther King Jr.
Coretta Scott King would go on to become a renowned activist and the keeper of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy.
Today, on what would have been his 91st birthday, we're honoring Coretta in the latest episode of People and Katie Couric's hashtag See Her Story. It's a weekly video series celebrating female trailblazers from the past 100 years.
To watch all of the hashtag See Her Story episodes, head to people.com.
All right.
Here we go.
You probably already heard about this, Gwyneth Paltrow's new candle. In case you haven't, her online store Goop is now selling a very unconventional scent, a $75 candle named This Smells Like My Vagina.
Apparently it's sold out. It's doing really well. Now, according to the product description, the item started as a joke between Gwyneth and perfumer Douglas Little while they were collaborating on a fragrance together. The website says the two were testing scents when Gwyneth blurted out, this smells like a vagina.
While that scent didn't become a perfume, obviously, they did agree that it would be perfect as a candle.
What is it?
Turns out, the scent is described to contain a blend of geranium, citrusy bergamot, and cedar absolutes juxtaposed with damask rose and ambrette seed. Sounds about right.
What are your thoughts on this, Jeremy? I want to get your take on.
Are we going to get one here? I mean, wouldn't you be interested?
I don't like it. I don't like it. Also, like, it's such a specific. Are we talking about like after a long day or? No, I'm curious.
Wow, I see what you're saying.
I have a lot of questions.
And I don't think anyone wants to kind of give it that much specificity.
All right, it might sound out there. Look, she's doing the candle, so we're going to talk about it. But it's actually not the first uniquely scented candle we've encountered. You've got the scent of Justin Trudeau. So the website description for this one says they blend the rich scent of chai tea because he drinks tea with maple because Canada.
It's so tame compared to Gwyneth.
Yeah, I will take the Justin Trudeau candle. smell.
Next, we have freshly signed divorce papers. The product promises part happy, part sad, a little relieved and unsure of your future financial stability. The complex emotions of divorce are captured in this very complex candle. That's the description. Does it smell like legal paper? I don't know.
That's a sad one. All right, next up we have Cupid's Tushy. So if you guessed it would smell like fresh baby powder, you're correct.
Right.
I think that's a good smell.
Nice. Now we have the bacon candle. This promises the aroma of delicious hickory smoked bacon as it sizzles away in a hot frying pan.
I don't
Yummy
know.
or no thank you? I don't know. I'll tell you this, I hate when the house smells like bacon after making it for breakfast, so I don't know if I'd like this.
Yeah, I'm not sure I would either. And last but not least, we have a candle called Nice Melons. So this has scents of honeydew melon, summer melon, and watermelon. Scents aren't that weird, but the company is known for its over-the-top names. Now this is the same company that has the candles Hot Buns and Smell My Nuts. I don't know,
I have questions about the smell of my nuts too, similar questions.
like almonds and stuff. All right.
So I guess we'll leave that one, and we'll let you know if we get a candle in here.
Yeah, sounds good.
Coming up tomorrow, the third season of Very Cavallari is here. Kristen Cavallari is taking us through all this season's ups and downs. By the way, it's rare that we're speechless and afraid to say anything.
I'm like very uncomfortable, so I'm so ready to end the show. Plus, Aidan Gillen and Neil McDonough join us live. They're talking UFOs and other alien mysteries ahead of Project Blue Book Season 2. Thanks for watching. For now, we leave you with one last thing from Angela Bassett. Bye.
Guys.
Hi, I'm Angela Bassett, and this is One Last Thing. The last song that stuck in my head, why men great till they gotta be great?
Why men great till they gotta be great?
The last thing I Googled, probably a recipe. The last TV show I binge watched, Killing Eve.
I know you're a psychopath.
The last big splurge was a pair of Chanel combat boots.